All right, today we're going to do a name transformation. The supplies you will need are the worksheet provided, a pencil, some colored pencils, and a straight edge. Okay, I'm going to set those aside, all except for the pencil and the straight edge. The first thing we're going to do down here in the bottom is we're going to write, I'm going to do this first section with you with your first name. So my first name is Tad, so I'm going to write T-A-D, and then I'm going to start over. I'm going to write the first letter of my name again. After that, after we start the first letter again on the bottom, come back up to the top of the next column and just continue. So since I put T down here, it would be A-D-T-A. So look at that for a minute and let's hope that makes sense. Then you'll notice up here there is a key, and on the top row are digits or numbers 0 through 10 and letters that they correspond with. So what we need to do is find each of the letters of your name. My first letter was T, so T corresponds with an 8. So over here I'm going to put an 8 where that T is and an 8 where this T is. Then I'm going to come over and I'm going to look for the A. Well, A has a value of 0, so I'm going to put a 0 here, and then there's an A in this row and an A in this row, so those are both 0. The last letter of my name was D, so that's corresponds with a 3, so that's going to be a 3 and another 3, and I missed a T there, so let's go ahead and fill that in. Okay, now that we have that, these form ordered pairs. And if you remember, we've gone over ordered pairs, so we're going to plot those ordered pairs on our coordinate plane. If you remember, you always start at the origin. The X value tells you how far to go left or right. The Y value tells you how far to go up or down. So since mine has an 8, 0, that means I'm going to go to the right 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's 0, so I'm not going to go up or down, and I'm just going to put a point there. My second ordered pair is 0, 3. Well, the 0 tells me I don't go up or down at all, or excuse me, back or forth at all. I just go up 3, so that'd be 1, 2, 3. Now's where your straight edge come in. Go ahead and we're going to connect the dots as we go. So I'm just going to draw that line there. Okay. My next ordered pair is 3, 8. That tells me to go 3 to the right and 8 up. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to connect that with the second point that I drew. So I've got this. And then our last ordered pair, if you notice, is the same as the first, which means I'm going to be going back to this point, and it's going to make a closed figure here. In this case, it's going to make a triangle. So since my last one is 8, 0, I go over 8, don't go up or down at all, and I draw that line. So let's take a look at that. And if you'll see, when we do this name transformation, my first letter forms a, looks like a right triangle, but can't be sure, don't know if that's a 90 or not. So, but it's a triangle. So the first thing is we're going to reflect that across the x-axis. Well, remember, this is our x-axis. And to do that, the x value is going to stay positive, but the y value is going to be negative. So I'm just going to put a little reminder up there for me that x is positive, y is negative. I'm going to rewrite my ordered pairs, so that's 8, 0. Well, you can't have a negative 0, so that's still just 0. The second ordered pair is 0. Since that's a 3, it's going to be a negative 3. Now I have a 3, 8, and that's going to be a negative 8 this time. And then I have 8, 0, and since 0 can't be negative, we leave it that way. So we're going to go ahead and graph those points, and when I do, Again, my first one is 8, 0, so my point stays the same right there. My second ordered pair is 0, negative 3, so I start at the origin and I don't go back and forth, I just go down 3, 1, 2, 3. And remember, we're connecting these lines as we go. So I'm going to make that line there best I can. Okay. And then my third ordered pair is 3, negative 8. So I'm going to go 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go down 8 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to connect that point to the last one we drew. So it's going to look like so. And our last ordered pair this time is 8, 0. Well, 8, 0 is where we started. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that. All right. And if you notice, we have a triangle that it looks like it's just reflected across the x-axis. The next one asks us to reflect it across the y-axis. Well, on this one, x is going to be negative, but your y will stay positive. So on my first ordered pair, I'm going to have negative 8, positive 0. On the second ordered pair, I'm coming back to my original to get these. So my second one, even though it's supposed to be negative, 0 can't be negative, so that's just 0, 3. The second one will be negative 3, positive 8. The last one will be negative 8, 0. So when I get ready to graph those, I start at the origin. Negative 8 tells me to go 8 to the left and don't go up or down. So I'm going to come over here 8 to the left, and I didn't go up or down at all. My next ordered pair tells me 0, 3 tells me to stay put, don't go back or forth, but to go up 3. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and there's my point. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that. Okay. Our next ordered pair is negative 3, positive 8. Negative 3 tells me to go 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3. Positive 8 tells me to go up 8, which happens to be right there. And then I'm going to connect those dots. All right. The last ordered pair in this series is negative 8, 0. If you remember, that was our same as our first ordered pair. So negative 8 is 8 to the left, don't go up or down at all. And then we've got connect those 2 points. And this one, if you look at it, looks like this one looks like a reflection of this if the y-axis was the mirror. The last one they want us to do is to reflect it across the origin. So they want us to reflect it across this point. To do so, we're going to make all of the ordered pairs negative. So we're going to go back to the original. So that'd be negative 8, 0. It would be 0, negative 3. It would be negative 3, negative 8, and negative 8, 0. So again, start with the first ordered pair. Negative 8, 0 tells me to go 8 to the left and stay put, so I'm right there. 0, negative 3 tells me to stay put, but to go down 3, so I did. I'm going to connect that ordered pair. Okay. Our third point is negative 3, negative 8, which tells us to go 1, 2, 3 to the left and 8 down. And then we're going to connect that to the point we just drew. And then our final point is negative 8, 0, which you've figured it out by now. That's our starting point. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that point. Now, if you look at that first one we drew, the second one is it reflected across the x-axis. The The next one we drew is this original one reflected across the y-axis. And the last one we drew is the original one reflected across the origin. Okay, so you know what to do now. I want you to go ahead and fill in your last name, make the ordered pairs, and go ahead and start plotting them. Go ahead and draw this right on top of the one we just did. When you get done, you're going to shade it in each individual shape. Like before I lay anything over it, I'd have here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different figures I'd shade in. But I want you to shade them in symmetrically. That means whatever I shade this color has to be the same as these three. Okay? So, hope that helps. If you have any questions, be sure to shout out to me. And that's your assignment for today.